Today we're going to do some last follow-up about where we are with the bill. I have an assignment for you guys to take care of as part of your last steps, and then we can talk about bigger picture stuff and questions and answers. So where are we regarding the bill? The bill is currently in committee. There is an attempt by myself through you guys to get language into the state's budget to keep this process moving forward. I'll be meeting with Senator Palumbo early next week. And then if we're not in the budget as a proviso, the last step is for me to go to Senate Ways and Means on Tuesday and lobby for inclusion. And so that's where we will go. As you guys know, the biggest problem with the bill was the fiscal note and the idea that it would cost $30 million more to do this instead of what was the classes and my perception, which was, hey, look, we're moving the food 4 steps down to a bin, right? I'm sure the schools can buy some bins within their waste management budget. But as you heard at the committee at the hearing, like, oh God, we can't do that. I mean, we have to have meetings about bins and all that. And the lunch ladies are up in arms, the usual. And that's classic. I think the one thing you learn out of this process is how bureaucracy works or doesn't. And I don't know if Mr. Dawson ever comes in to your classes with a really sad hangdog look after he's talked negotiations on salary. It's one of his jobs as a representative of the teachers. But it is fascinating at times how large, complicated organizations full of smart, educated people can't do a darn thing. You know, I don't know. We'll have to have a meeting about that. And you'll see this as you go into college. You'll see that half the time it's like, well, we all email each other and what we want to do. And then somebody says, why the heck are we doing 65 emails when we can have one meeting and pound it out? And then, of course, you have to figure out how to schedule 12 people to be in the same place at the same time. That's the rest of your lives. That's nothing new. It's going to be old. So my questions to you is, how many of you have been accepted by colleges or you're waiting for financial aid? Show of hands. Are you getting what you want, or are you still? I mean, a lot of you are like, you're waiting for the UW to get around to telling you what's going on, right? Yeah. Anybody going into the service this fall? No. The other class has one person going to the Coast Guard. No, it's just because at least that person knows where they're going and that their lives will be micromanaged, for as long as that they're in. They know what's going to happen to them. So that's kind of where we're at. This is a senior project for you guys, and as we go through this program at TVW with the legislature, we're going to try really hard to get legislators to understand that we're seniors in high school. Darn it, this is, we're in the middle of senior slump, and you're wanting us to perform and act like we know what we're doing. That's a lot to ask of anybody. It really is. I mean, how many days left till you're out of school? How many days left till you're at the end of school year? Come on, somebody knows. Somebody's got a calendar.
61. No, it's more than that. It's like
no, I would say no. It was 60, like a week ago when Terrence texted us.
0 days.
It's 3 months.
Yeah, 60 days or so. Well, it is. It's funny. And once the weather gets nice, of course, it gets even tougher. Mm-hmm. So my advice to you as a parent, as a former high school senior, as a teacher at the community college level, and as a former high school senior, once the weather gets nice, oh damn, it's gonna be tough for you guys to keep it. Anyhow. News since we last talked. The State Revenue Forecast Council came out yesterday, and they have about $530 million more dollars to spend right now on budgeting, $500 million. There is $41.6 billion available for the 17-19 biennium. So they have money. The big debate is whether or not they have enough money to pay for running the government and all the new stuff under McCleary. If you talk to the Senate Republicans, yeah, we have $46.5 billion. We can do any darn thing we want. We can start a space program with that type of money. Democrats will say, no, we have $1 billion. We have to pay a new compensation. We have McCleary, which also includes teacher compensation funding. We have mental health, and so we're still broke. When you have that type of debate, that's why I tell people we'll be here till the 4th of July, because it takes a long time for sides that far apart to mesh and start figuring out what their common reality is. So that's kind of where we're at. So to close my part is following. One, we got Senate Ways and Means, our last and best effort. Two, by Wednesday, we'll know for sure where we are, and we'll have one more meeting. Now, the balance of this time I was going to devote to you guys for questions and answers. We have about 5 minutes.
Okay. So I know that, it's so weird. Mr. Dawson said that we should try and reach out with.
Oh yeah,
people.
thank you, sir. One last thing. I'm going to ask you guys to send thank you notes to sponsor of the bill, Senator Zeiger, the chair of the committee, and also a beseeching email to Ways and Means. I'll have all that out to you, so you'll have it Monday morning to work on.
All right,
Great,
and that'll
thank you.
give us the information of what exactly to say.
Yeah, I'll have draft language for you to look at, everything else.
Awesome.
Questions?
I mean, is that where we're at right now, or is there anything else we can do to try?
No,
and
this
move
is where
forward?
this is the end stage. This happens a lot. Thousands of bills are introduced, hundreds to thousands of bills in each chamber, and the budget is going to have the budget's a 300-page document that talks about where money goes, and then as many as 50 bills are attached to the budget as policy directions on new programs or changing programs. For example, the Department of Ecology may have 10 or 12 policy bills attached that tell them what to do about groundwater, what to do about ocean acidification. There'll be policy bills attached to the State Patrol or to other government agencies that are designed to give additional policy input. So for the composting bill, Ecology has a composting program for schools, but it's designed primarily for K through 8. The high school component has never been addressed. So, and I think that's the difficult thing. When talking to the people at Waste Management, they don't like the word free. And so getting the legislature to say, no, within existing revenue, you're going to do composting. Everyone else was thinking about a tax or something that be applied. So that's kind of where we're at. We're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Questions?
With committee, just clarifying, there's really no way for us to know what's going on in there until they're done with it?
Well, here's what's going to happen. The revenue forecast came out yesterday. The Senate, the one budget we really care about, the Senate budget is going to be dropped and introduced for hearing on Monday or Tuesday. When we see that document, if we're in there, great, we've done a great job. If we're not in there, there's one last shot to lobby it into the budget, and that's my doing. I have to work that. But by Wednesday or Thursday, we'll know whether we're in or not. If we're not in, we'll have a final debrief and we'll be done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. Okay, come in like sight view.
Thank you. Nice jersey, by the way.
What?
Nice jersey. Is that
thank
the
you.
Irish national?
I don't know. I know nothing. It's a rugby jersey. In any
That's
case,
Ireland.
it says Ireland exactly. As far as like those, you said there's $46 billion in some sort of like fund that there's certain like we can make decisions on it to some
Yeah.
right? And you said some people say those funds are locked in. Some of them aren't. Some say like, oh no, they're not locked in. What says they're locked in? What says they're not?
Okay. Within the entire operating budget, there are a variety of funds. That we talk about the general fund, which is unrestricted money the legislature appropriates. There's a lot of funds that are fees that you pay. For example, your driver's licenses, those fees go into the transportation department. Your car tabs and gasoline taxes go into road construction. So those monies are locked. They have to go certain places. Sales taxes on food, on other things in food, go into the general fund. Property taxes go into the general fund, and they often go into education. Marijuana taxes go into the general fund. And within those general fund, there may be some sort of modifying language about what you're supposed to do or not do. But for the most part, for K through 12 education, the administration of a school, like composting, is a discretionary decision by the legislature and then the governor when he signs off on the budget. The debate on the composting bill they treated it as a new program at $36 million. The question is, can I get the legislature to change its opinion and say, no, within existing revenues, you should do this? And I will get back to you when I figure out what they're going to let me do. I'll check in and tell you what that was. It may be something as simple as directing the Department of Ecology to expand into high schools its composting programs, since they already have it existing. Then the question is, do they need more money to do that or not? So that's kind of where we're at right now. So, and that's my weekend homework, is writing up 3 or 4 different scenarios. One is putting your bill into the budget as is. Another one is creating a study to expand. And then a third one is asking Ecology to modify its program designed for high schools and then get a couple of test projects in place so that we can come back and find the money next year. So, you know, your bill's a legacy. It'll be around, and somebody, if it's not me, some other high school is going to pick it up and keep going. So don't view this as a pass fail. You know, this is really kind of a Johnny Appleseed. You know, this bill has a lifespan of 2 years. So it can be worked on next year. And there's always Juanita does this periodically. Other high schools will. And, you know, that's one of the things that Mr. Dawson and I will talk about over the summer, is how do we take some of these ideas and carry them forward. So you guys did a great job. The committee was singularly impressed with your output at the hearing. You should be very proud of what you pulled off.
Thank you.
You guys did great. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day to those of you. Have a great weekend.
Thank
You
you.
too. See you
Good
later.
luck on your college stuff, all right?
Thank
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.